Hello, hello, hello. Okay, does this work? I guess today we will find out. I am absolutely going to be rusty. How are we doing, boys and girls? Welcome in, welcome in. Oh, straight in with the resub. Chris, my man, thank you very much.
Both, I hope.
Right, press buttons. See if stuff works. Does everything work? Today we will find out. My microphone is peaking. That shouldn't be the case. Where's my limiter? Why is it not being filtered? I guess. No, noise gate is on. Okay, it should work. We're all good. Right, let's turn the tunes down. We're tinkering on the PTR today. I don't have any real better way to describe what I'm doing today. I got back a day or two ago. As you can see, I have gained 0 suntan because I'm British. But we're on the PTR. We're doing a little few things. We're having a little look about. I'm trying to figure some stuff out. Mostly so that we can hit 11.2 running and, you know, have a blast. Holiday-wise was fun. Chill, relaxed. Too much relaxing, almost, some could say. And it's, I'm going to be honest, it feels slightly weird to be back. Ever so slightly weird to be back. I've not been completely dormant over the last couple of weeks. I've been putting some notes together for the new patch. We have Goblin notes for 11.2. In my usual style, in my usual form. Just trying to keep track of what's going on. These are in the pinned comments. Please feel free to use them. And more importantly than anything, tell me where I've gone wrong. Oh my god. I'm back, but I'm clearly dying, apparently. I'm guessing from what I've seen so far, there's not actually a huge amount going on in 11.2 from a Goblin perspective, but let's not forget, we thought that going into 11.1. Some new herbs, some new ores. Weirdly, they've made a new lotus and a new millstone. Kind of doesn't seem necessary, but I guess it's to make the herbing and mining in the new zone kind of feel like it's worth doing. It's always nice to chase after something rare, even if all you're going to do is convert it to a null stone, convert it to a null lotus, both of which these things aren't expensive anymore, are they? These things are basically free, so it's probably doesn't make all that difference. There's a new item called a mana-forged instrument that I stumbled across in a few recipes, and after tracking it down, it turns out that it's locked behind raid progression. So, yeah, love that. Love that. Don't know what to say more on that other than that's a weird choice. Secondly, the things it goes into making is like kind of nothing burger stuff. I guess we could do with a link to the item, actually. Where's something that uses it? One of these. Yeah, so today I'm just tinkering. I'm just like, we're exploring. We're just trying to find stuff out, basically. Mana-forged instrument. One of you. Let's put a link in for this. Normal text, please. Oh, it's the wrong color. The wrong color? Yeah, all my links are orange. Why is it not orange? I'm starting to think that my little color scheme for my documents is outrageous, but what are you gonna do? It's almost categorized as branding at this point. Right, mana-forged instrument. Yeah, this thing's used in about 3 things, all of which kind of feel a bit pointless. It's used in 2 places. One, to make a gleeful glamour ethereal mode, which seems like stinky nothing burger. But it's the major component for making these secondary contracts, which I've been really struggling to find any info about these. There's 3 cartels, but I haven't really stumbled across anything that indicates what these do. This is where I'm looking for guidance, community-driven guidance. I can't work out what the deal is with these cartels, but because unlocking these is locked behind the raid, and it also appears to be locked behind 8 weeks of raid, I think. If we're going to assume that the new raid tier, the new raid reputation is a once per week situation, well, you'll start with 1, won't you? So there's 15 tracks, meaning it'll take you probably 14 weeks to finish it. It's not until Renown 8 where you unlock the ability to even get these Mana Forged instrument materials. Forge Weaver Raz now has a chance to drop the Mana Forged instruments, a reagent necessary to craft Mana Forged related recipes. The only Mana Forged related recipes are 3 contracts. And as far as Wowhead is concerned, there is no info about them anywhere that I can find. Unless, here's a question. Does Wowhead have some... Is there a raid guide? Raid overview. Mana Forged Vandals Renown. Does it say anything more in here? "15 levels. Earning reputations done exclusively in the raid. We'll have a global cap, with each new week increasing the cap by 1. Hence being about 7 weeks before we even unlock these. I guess we don't care that much. This is probably to be confirmed. Reputation numbers. Is this just copy paste? No. Bachoso at Shadow Point will bestow upon you some new enchanting and inscription recipes. You can earn Loom Beast Silk and Ethereal Essence Slivers in the raid for picking up cosmetic stuff. Can't help with these contracts, but check out Raid Renown 9. Augment runes that don't expire on death will start dropping. Might be worth mentioning. Oh my lord. Hello. 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 Welcome in, by the way. Welcome, welcome. Defeating the Soul Hunters will grant you 3 soul-gorged augment runes. Void-touched augment runes, which do not expire on death. Woo! Well, that's interesting, because they're also trying to flog you 100,000 gold worth of perma augment rune. Damn. That's cool. Soul-gorged augment runes. What does one of those look like? Soul Gorged Augment Rune. Same as normal, persists through death. Bop. Bind on pickup for a start. Not super useful for alts. Did that say a specific? Defeating the Soul Hunters. Okay. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed your break. Welcome in, Mr. Goldson. Thank you. Appreciate it. We're kind of 50% back. Like, the stream title is still technically last day of my holiday, so I haven't really totally decided exactly if we're going back to normality as of tomorrow, but we're most of the way there. Do we know if there's an Augment Rune machine in the raid like the Undermine? No, I mean, that was a very Undermine specific thing, but we're just looking at the fact that 9 weeks in, or 8 weeks in, because you start with Renown 1 for free. 8 weeks in, you'll unlock this, which is access to Soul Gorged Augment Runes. These are bind on pickup, so alts will still need probably regular Augment Runes. That is to say, do people use Augment Runes, you know, on alts? Maybe not. But at least they can't be traded around. And you have to defeat the Soul Hunters. Hang on. This is where my lack of raid knowledge is. I've not looked at the new raid. Is the Soul Hunters? It is a boss. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is this the optional one though? I heard through the grapevine somebody said that one of the it's an 8 boss raid, but one of them is optional. Doesn't show it on here, but it unlocks maybe after. So new expansion waiting room. The irony for me is that unless there's something really juicy in 11.2, I'm still going to live in the Undermine. There's no chance I don't live in the Undermine. Okay, well, this Soul Gorged Augment Rune is worth noting. I've got a section in here for Augment Runes. Augment Rune. Let's just call it Augment Rune News. Like the final season of the expansion, there is a permanent Augment Rune that can be purchased. Requires Renown 18. Although this will affect the Augment Rune market, I guess it will take at least a few weeks to reach Renown 18. Especially, many players will see the 100k as too expensive as an option and will continue to buy one-time runes. Renown 9 with flipping hell, who's it called? Renown 9 with the Mana Forged Vandals. Renown 9 with the Mana Forged Vandals unlocks access to Soul Gorged Augment Runes. Grab one of them. How much gold have you made in the Undermine, theoretically? Well, at last count, I think I'd sold, and this is based on actual sales, I think I'd sold a little over 14 million gold worth of pets and mounts. Now I have more in stock. I still have like basically one of everything if I remember in stock. And equally I haven't looked at the prices for a couple of weeks, so it could all be totally different now, I don't know. But I sold 14 million worth of stuff. I've seen screenshots of people that have sold like 30, 40 million gold worth of pets and mounts, which is bananas. Renown 9 with the Maniforged Vandals unlocks access to the Soul Gorged Augment runes. We need a screenshot of the raid of the this, don't we? 7, 8, 9. One of them. One of those. These do not. These persist through death, but are soul-bound and require you to kill. What was the boss called? The Soul Hunters. Yeah, it's weird they're adding this and a permanent augment rune, but you know, I guess choice is choice, right? Everybody that's an organized content player, that is, will kill the optional boss on as many characters as they can. It drops boots to make the Lego better. Oh, is there some synergy with Rishi's wraps with raid drops? That's interesting. I bought 3 of the permanent augment runes in Dragonflight. They're definitely worth the gold. Well, what, like, they're 100k, aren't they? So augment runes are like give or take 1,000 gold right now. Meaning you'd have to burn through 100 of them just to break even. Which I guess if you're progressing the raid and you raid 2 or 3 nights a week, then you do that without even thinking. But for some, LFR Andes, for example, it makes no difference whatsoever. If you're even bothering to use consumables, you know, it's one of those. Worth is another one of those. It's very subjective. It's like if you burn through 200,000 gold worth of augment runes in a patch, then spending 100k on a permanent one is definitely worth. But it's yeah. You missed the ultimate Mechanica farm. I heard there's been some shenanigans with the world quests. People doing some silly business with the world quests, but in true Blizzard fashion, they patched them pretty quick. So, whatever. It's fine. It's fine. Level 1, I made an average. I made 50 million gold purely crafting and farming in pickup time. I mean, you play the game a lot, you make a lot of gold these days. What is this sorcery? No aliens. No aliens. Welcome in, Haley. No aliens. Just, you know, summer vacation. Okay. Well, that's handy to know. Is there anything else on this this renowned path that has slipped me by that I should pay attention to? Maybe I need to actually read what the hell this does. Spool of Loom Beast Silk. Okay, that's the currency for...
Are you just glad to see me? Both, I hope.
Cosmetic things. Kahani with a 41! Welcome in, welcome in. How we doing? How we doing? Thank you very much for that. I don't seem to have any alerts going off in my ears. Once again, another great example of technical issues first thing. Thank you, thank you. Hope you're doing well. Apologies, I've been absent for a while. Hit exalted with a dark fuge from friendly in 2 hours. Imagine that in Paragon satchels with Mechanica inside. So, let me try and remember the napkin maths. We got a 100% rep buff, didn't we? So, previously, you needed 9,000... Let me see if I can remember this right. You previously needed 9,000 market research, which would be halved because the 100% rep, so 4,500 market research. So to go friendly to exalted in 2 hours, you were getting about 2,000, a little over 2,000 market research an hour. Which is about double what I think is quote-unquote default, but I had seen some people getting like 1,100 an hour doing the standard 2x4 farm. But yeah, by the fact that you need then half as much as well for the Paragon boxes. I've not looked at the price of the pets and mounts. So I'm going to imagine they're a bit cheaper at the moment. Renown 11 looks interesting. We'll get there. Let me have a quick read through, make sure I've fully understood these. Extra Loom Beast when defeated. Gain access to the arcane flow control for the cultivation chambers and the unbound vault, allowing you to weaken non-boss enemies nearby. Okay. Trash clearing perk, I guess. Siphon the essence of the forge, increasing your speed by 15% whilst out of combat. Get places faster. Great. While inside the Mana Forge Omega, your Warband's damage and heat are flat damage buff. Whoopty-whoopties. Hey, Chalita with the 2 years. Welcome in, welcome in. Hope you're doing well. Have you got rain today? We've had thunderstorms and all sorts today. Unironically, it's been quite nice to actually have some rain. It's been quite warm the last few days. Guild of Gold, welcome in, welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Yeah, this is probably the longest break I've had from streaming almost ever. But to be real with you lot, it was definitely needed. I was absolutely cooked on playing WoW. And like I said, at the moment, I'm only just kind of slowly dipping my toe in the water, getting back into it. Sometimes that break is needed. Speak to some dude at Shadow Point to be issued a Shadow Guard translocator, which projects your soul to Shadow Point when used inside the Mana Forge Omega. Magic lingers only briefly before forcibly ripping your soul back through the portal.
Is that your wallet?
Oh, that's clever. Is this a cheeky way for people to zip out of the raid, maybe do a repair, and then get zipped back in? Oh, okay. I wonder if that's going to have a knock-on effect to the repair thingies. Oh, Ukulele with the 37 as well. Thank you, boys and girls. I appreciate this. Thank you, thank you. Oh, you've kicked off a hype train as well. How about that? Choo. Currently 19. High will be 21. Pretty nice weather. See, that's comfortable. We've had high 20s the last few days. And while I'm good, my wife is absolutely melting. Not to mention, we're looking after our niece for a couple of days right now. Partly the reason I ran off to the studio to get a few hours chill time. But yeah, when you're chasing after a 3-year-old who has unlimited energy, high 20-degree temperatures is like, quick, find an ice cream stand, quick, go to the beach. Renown 5, Shadow in the Warp. Oh, okay. In raid, ports straight to the bosses. Enhance your resonance with the Rishi, increasing the effectiveness of your enchants and mana oils whilst inside the Mana Forge Omega. Oh, okay. This is their way round. This is their way round. Instead of actually releasing new... Without actually releasing new consumables, they'll like, oh, in 5 weeks' time, they'll just buff your current ones by, I'm going to assume, a flat percentage. All right, cool. Boo-hoo for goblins, but sure, makes sense. Keeps people the ability to use their standard stuff. Flat damage amp. Weaken non-boss enemies nearby. Clear trash mechanic. Renown 8 is where we get the ability to buy the enchant and inscription recipes and also unlock the mana forged instruments. Gear glider. Vandal's gear glider. That's the mount. That's one of the mounts. Mount and a pet at 8 as well. We looked at 9 for the augment rune. Did you try giving her monster energy drinks? Yeah, I mean, it's like she's on them permanently. She drinks water and milk, yet somehow magically has more energy than a Duracell bunny. Oh, not only do defeating the soul hunters will grant you 3, there's also a chance it will give you 6. 3 additional when defeated. Oh, that's worth knowing. These persist through death but are soulbound and require you to kill the soul hunter boss. 3 to 6 per kill. The fact that they persist through death, though. That's probably the most OP thing about them. It's not even the fact that they're like, here's just a handful of, augment runes. It's the fact that these ones persisting through death as well. Within hours. By the time you're 8 weeks in, there's a good chance that some of you will actually have at least like normal mode and maybe even heroic on farm and be progressing on mythic, maybe, who knows. Oh, Chris with a gifty. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you. $22 tomorrow would be great because I've got to go to Helsinki Centre. Yeah, it's probably hot there. Although that said, you can just bounce from one aircon to another. It shouldn't be too difficult. Ignored all of the Undermined factions. Don't even know what I get for the Mechanica. Just pets and mounts. Pets and mounts. Or in my case, gold, because I just sell the pets and mounts. We gain 3 to 6 per kill. Now, I wonder if that even... Because this doesn't seem to indicate that there's any... If you're clearing the raid... There doesn't seem to be any difference on those Like, do we think that we'll get, when people unlock this, people will run LFR just to get 6 hours worth of augment runes for free before they go raiding? Do we think that this is going to be so attractive to some that they'll actually consider running LFR? Because if you can get these even on LFR, potentially get 6 hours worth of augment runes for free via LFR before you go raiding properly. Does that kill the augment rune market? Like, that's pretty impactful actually when you think about it. Considering this could be via LF. Also, so yeah, the combination of a permanent augment rune plus in 8 weeks' time being able to basically get up to 6 hours worth of augment rune buff for free each week is kind of crazy, actually. That feels kind of crazy. Damage amp at 10. Even more movement speed. More trash killing. All consoles can be activated in tandem. Name delete enemies inside the Mana Forge Omega now have a chance to drop warbound items when defeated each week. Oh, okay. So that's actually not switched on by default. I assumed that would be something that's switched on by default. Isn't it usually that warbound items will drop, but they'll drop like one, what's the right word for this? One tier lower? Not one tier lower. One, you know, down from myth to champion or something like that. One gear band lower. Maybe that won't kick in for 10 weeks. In 2 months, absolutely nobody will care. This is the only thing I wonder about these raid rep things. That this is all good and well if like the raid is really pumping and everybody's really enjoying the patch. But this is then going to feel really bad if we get like a flop patch. And I think I think patch 11.1, I think the Undermine was quite a quick patch, generally speaking. I think a lot of people cleared it and were basically done with the patch very quickly. Bosses can always drop warbound gear. This is from the trash mobs. Named elite enemies. Oh, okay. Well, since they're warbound stuff, it'll be good for gearing up your ults, but not anything particularly goblinry with this. Other than just, you know, you'll gear up faster. And in 10 weeks' time, you'll probably not care. Renown 12. Extra cosmetic stuff. Or extra cosmetic stuff. Damage amp. Look at Gazreth Jr., descendant of the slain Watcher Gazreth. Gazkreth seeks revenge, or to join you. Is this just unlocking a pet or something? That's probably just a pet unlock or something stupid, isn't it? Title, mount, Final damage amp. Oh, and then a teleport to the raid. Okay, easy stuff then. Easy stuff. Undermine had the Mecha T-Rex that made it desirable. This time the final mount isn't that special. I still don't have that T-Rex, and I do actually kind of want that T-Rex. The Bone Freezer mount. The Bone Freezer. Oh. Oh yeah, it doesn't have the same appeal, does it, as a flipping mechanical T-Rex. I can't say I'm that, but then it's 14 renowns instead of 19 or 20 or whatever it was. Or what was his name? Lorendo or something. What we got mount-wise then? A bunch of untethered coins. You can get the Acid Void Creeper. So actually, the big boy mount is just a reskin of another mount that you can get already. That makes it even less appealing. That's pretty cool. That's pretty spicy. Blue Barry. Okay. From a quest, a blue for you. Blue Barry, sure. Oh, and Blue Barry's ginger friend. From a wriggling pinnacle cache. A pigeon. 10 untethered coins. I figured out what these untethered coins are, but I can't remember. Oh, these are the phase diving things, isn't it? This is doing the phase diving stuff. Gets you the untethered coins. Mr. GM's done a video about the mounts now to get them. Yeah, I'm going to have to spend just a day going through YouTube videos just to try and play catch up in that regards. Wow, back to... Didn't we kill like 1 billion of these hunting for a mount in BFA? Ginger chicken. Sure. From a world quest. Oh, gold. Yeah, so here we go. Another one. Another one. Doesn't make the big end of raid mount feel all that special when it's just a reskin of other ones. This one's actually... I like this one more because it looks fiery. This one is going to be from a vendor on... Oh, this is the main renown. This is the main renown faction. Another 8,125 resonance crystals. Jesus. I've got up to 300,000 resonance crystals. And I reckon this patch has added like another 300,000 on top. What are you? Okay. Shababs. Is that a rare then? That dropped from a rare? I haven't looked at the rares even. The beer opener mount. It is. It's like pop open a crack open a cold one. Terror of the Wastes. Pretty cool. I like the voidy one more though. Glory of the Omega Raider is a reskin pigeon. Didn't we have Lavender Pigeon? Lavender pigeon. There was another one of these. Lavender pigeon. Ginger pigeon. And then Twitch pigeon. And the vicious void creeper. Or PvP. I genuinely think the PvP mounts are the best mounts in the game. And kind of almost always have. Kind of annoying that I never get any of them. I'm sure there's more mounts than that, but this was just a quick search for anything that's potentially easy to find, but... Alright. What was I doing? Okay, so there's not really anything too much more on this that stands out. It's interesting. Alright. So, we updated some info about... Yeah, this is what I want to do, actually. Now... Different day. So this shows nicely how the traders change. So I took this screenshot yesterday, and as we can see now, with 24 hours past, bismuth has gone up to 5. So you'd have to convert 5 of your existing for bismuth, so you just wouldn't do it. So this is like 3 is medium, 5 is like absolutely don't exchange it. And today would be the day that if you wanted to, you'd buy Iron Claw. Did a Keyright go to 3? I wonder if it ramps up and then resets back down. I wonder if you can predict when this is going to happen then. Because every a Keyright went up, Iron Claw like reset. Iron Claw was at its most expensive yesterday, and a day later it's reset to the cheapest. Keyright was 1, it's now 3. Bismuth was 3, it's now 5. So theoretically, tomorrow would be the day you'd cash in your new ore, and you'd cash it in for bismuth, because bismuth is probably the most expensive. So you actually might be able to predict quite accurately when is the day you're going to actually convert the new mats into the old mats. My thoughts on this, I did put a little bit of a blurb in the Goblin notes. Exchange rates change daily, can range from 1 to 1 to 1 to 5, meaning you'll probably want to wait till a quote-unquote good day to do your exchange. But how will it affect your herb and ore prices? My guess, the new herbs and ore will be a gold or 2 cheaper than what is the most expensive regular herb or ore. So bismuth is usually the most expensive. In fact, it's not even usually. It is the most expensive. So you will want to wait until it's a 1-to-1 trade, and then you want to convert it into bismuth. That's the best way to extract the most value from the new ore. What that means for price, because you can sell the new ore on the auction house, is I think the new ore will be about 1 to 2 gold cheaper at any given point than what the equivalent bismuth would be. And the reason I say 1 to 2 gold cheaper is because it looks like you can only convert it to bismuth once every 3 days. So on the 2 days where you can't do the conversion, it might mean that this new material dips in price a little bit just by more people farming it, more people putting it on the auction house, but there being less demand for it. It might push the price down a little bit. That's why I feel that it might be 1 to 2 gold cheaper than its equivalent highest value. With herbs, it's a little bit more... With the herbs, it's a little bit more... might be a little bit different, because you often find there's a little bit more variancy in the price of herbs. But the theory is the same, that you would, for example, today is today would be the absolute best day to do your exchange for Phantom Bloom, because you'd probably trade it in for Lure Drop or a Wrath of Spear, or, you know, whichever is the most expensive regular one. How do you think this will impact Thaumaturgy? I was thinking about that, and I don't think it will. I'm not convinced it will, mostly because the way that you're going to extract the most value from these new herbs and ore is by waiting for the right time to exchange them. That will also mean that on that day, there will be a big influx of these materials, but because you're exchanging for the highest price item, now you're never thematigizing the highest priced item anyway. You're always running your cheap shit, so your leather for the most part anyway, through the alchemy mill. It will just mean on the day where you can exchange, the push, the extra influx of high value mats will make Thaumaturgy less valuable that day to do. But I don't really think that it's going to have any impact on Thaumaturgy. Shouldn't the trader mean that in the long run, all the herbs in the ore cost the same? That is if the new zone is good to farm in. Well, that would be true if it wasn't for Thaumaturgy. I don't think there's going to be such an aggressive influx of materials on those days that it will actually do that. In a completely closed environment, you're probably right. In a completely closed environment, it would probably act as a normalizer for all of the prices. But because the vendor is on rotation, meaning you can't always be trading, there's a 72-hour window rather than a 24-hour window. Because there are 2 days out of every 3 you can't actually exchange for the materials. Materials will still fluctuate a little bit. And because of Thaumaturgy doesn't let everything get to the same price. And I don't think the swing in material prices will be that aggressive that it'll really happen. Now, one thing I did note here, one thing I did put in the notes was this does all depend on exactly how efficient they are to farm in the new zone. With everybody in the new zone, there could be strong competition on nodes, and farmers might still see better gold per hour results in the original zones, but time will tell. I don't think the new zone is going to be so outrageously good for these new materials that it will pump 1 billion herbs and ore into the market out of nowhere. That said, it's the last patch. It's the last patch of the expansion, and so equally there is a very strong chance that this patch will go from having high values to like basically no values. Is there anything in the game that really is there a price floor for any of these mats? We haven't really thought too much about price floors particularly, because Thaumaturgy being a destructive process actually deletes 50% of the materials out the game, which the more people do Thaumaturgy, the less materials there are. And the less materials there are, the less push down in price there is. Won't the most desirable herbal ore lose value if most people exchange for that instead of the others? But you got to understand why the most desirable ore is there in the first place. I don't think the push will be that heavy. I don't think the push will be that strong because of this. I don't think it will. I don't think the top-down pressure will be that strong that it will squish everything to be the same price. That said, if the push is strong enough, though, if farming these new herbs and ore in the new zone and then converting them on the correct day. Oh, what? I don't. Yeah, I'm not convinced there's enough people that do farming for that to really happen. I don't even think bots will do that, really. Because let's just say, for example, let's assume that there was a huge, massive influx of ore and herbs into the market that starts to normalize the price of them all, push the price of them all down as far as they go. What will that cause? What will happen because of that? Well, if all of the herbs and all of the ore go down in price, thaumaturgy can sit there, but thaumaturgy also takes into consideration dust, it takes into consideration cloth, it takes into consideration leather. So, because there is no crazy conversion for dust, cloth, or leather, it's just business as usual. The worst case scenario is that all of the herbs and all of the ore get so cheap that you actually start buying them in bulk to thaumaturgize them to get dust, cloth, and leather, which would mean that the actual floor price is like half what leather is now. So whatever leather is now, which is historically the material you smush through alchemy, herbs and ore shouldn't really ever be able to get less than half what leather is now, which I don't really see happening. I certainly don't see the push being that heavy to cause that. Not short term, anyway. Maybe by the very end of the expansion, but bots will just put the new ore on the auction house and be done with it. Yes, you're right. Yes, and that's exactly why I think it'll be 1 to 2 gold cheaper than the most expensive. Because even though the bots won't do the conversion, they'll just farm it and put it on the auction house. They will also be aware of that this is a system, right? I think it'll be different for Q1 and 2 than it will be for Q3. Q3 is not that really much affected by thaumaturgy. I can see the Q3 prices balancing out a bit. Yeah. Q3 is definitely less affected. But Q3 is also weirdly a much more quiet market, because the only people who are buying Q3 are trying to guarantee Q3 crafts, or they're buying Q3 intermediates for crafting, work order stuff. Yeah, Q3 stuff might balance out a bit more. 1 and 2s will be business as usual. The reality is there's so many like variables here. I don't think the farmers are going to do that much farming. I don't think the downward pressure on mats will be that strong. Certainly not while we're in the first 4 to 6 weeks of the season, when everything's being bought, everything's being sold, everything's being processed, everything's being crafted. It's just an interesting twist. It seems, and it feels a little bit like just a quick and easy way for them to not have to do much with the professions. And to give, to make the new zone feel new and different. Put some new herbs, put some new ore in it, call it a day. The fact there's new mobs out there that will still drop the same existing cloth and will still drop the same existing leather. Sort of makes me think they designed the zone and they had these herbs and ore there, and then they could have built on it and they could have done more, or they were just like, well, you know what, we'll just use a garrison vendor. If we slam a garrison vendor in, allow people to convert them, call it a day. Okay, I've spent the first hour of the stream not really moving, but I don't think this is going to have that much of an impact. That said, I haven't done any farming in the new zone, so I don't know how lucrative it is from a farming perspective, but what I do want to do now, though, is actually just play the PTR a little bit, really. Get a more hands-on with what's going on. Where's a flight path around here? Only over this way. We would not bother with a flight path. We'll just zoom there. I need to kill some rares and stuff. Do some world quests. See what's going on. See if we can find anything. I don't know if there's uncommon, rare, and even maybe possibly epic versions of gear that can drop. I don't know. I literally haven't played it enough to find any. Oh, actually, what I do want to make sure I'm doing actually is I need to ensure that I'm also recording this. Bet I can't change that while I'm live, can I? Oh, I know what I've done. I've screwed things up, haven't I, by changing that file name. Okay. Boom. Now, I hope that... Oh, is that causing me to go laggy? Oh, shit. Or is it just because it's starting? It might be okay. If we start dropping frames, you'll have to let me know. Trying to stream to 2 places and locally record is apparently a bit stressful on the old computer. Is it lagging? Alright, we'll see. Clean up the oasis in Koresh. This unlocks the cultivation side minigame or something, I think. There's also these resource vendors over in the Oasis, by the way. I was in Tazavesh at the marketplace, but they're also here too. This is actually where we found them first. Oh, here's a theory. Do they have the same deals? Iron Claw is the cheapest. Iron Claw was the cheapest when I looked a minute ago, wasn't it? Oh, were we in slideshow mode again? Maybe I'll just switch that off for now. Maybe locally recording at the same time is causing it to be problematic. I don't know why it shouldn't do. I've got one WoW instance open. Like, it shouldn't be that stressful. Better now. Back to 60 FPS. The weird thing is on my end, it doesn't state that we've dropped any frames. I don't know what causes that. Maybe it's the actual encoder itself is cooked. I don't know, whatever. Yeah, those prices look the same as the vendors over in Thusday. So at least they're synchronized to be the same. Kind of nullify the whole process, actually, to be honest, if the prices were different. What's a wind catcher? What did that do? Uncaring winds of the Koresh strip everything given time? Okay, sure. I don't know what that means. How hot is it in the studio? Well, it's as hot as I want it to be because of the aircon. So it should be 22 degrees right now. In theory. Oh. That's the new ore. Get your butt out the screen. What's hide UI? What's hide UI keybind? I usually change it. Keybinds. Really? Really? Interface. Alt Z. I tried Alt Z and it didn't work. Makes me think I've changed it. Toggle user interface. Alt U. I knew I changed it. There we go. That's so poorly cropped. Can't do that again. Made a right dog's ear of that one. There we go. That's kind of better. Clean up Hope's Oasis. Right, how do we clean up the Oasis then? Animal leavings. We're on poop duty. Benari has arrived. She's waiting for you. I can't say I'm overly excited to talk to Venari again, to be honest. Perform various activities. Day 1 orientation. Introduce yourself to the animals of the oasis. Check their status on the console. Welcome, registered user. Please use this console to review the status of fauna in the oasis. Slatebacks is limited in its impact upon the ecosystem due to low population. Thorntails,
Let's make sweet,
low
sweet
population.
profit together.
Lap bugs, low population. Okay. What does that mean? Hey, Jargist with the 13. Thank you very much. Thank you. Welcome in. Hang on. Where's the... There was a yellow dot on my map. Why was there a yellow dot on my map? Now where's it gone? I don't know where the yellow dot on my map is. Collect data. We're back here again. Collect data. How do we collect data? Broker shot. Yeah, a bit of Shadowlands PTSD for sure. Speaking to Venari. Torn up earth. Oh, we're flipping digging dirt again. I don't want to see dirt ever again. Never, ever, ever. What did that do? Waters of Koresh. Okay. Oh, actually, I've just realised. I think I know why I was causing lag in the stream. I think I've got all the settings cranked to max. Yeah, I've got absolutely everything cranked to max. And we're running on DX12. All things that I shouldn't have switched on while I'm actually streaming at the same time. Oh well. I'll deal with it tomorrow. Earthy succulent. Clicked on this already. I don't know what these buffs do. Watering jug. Yoink. Oh, what did that say? Water the plants in the oasis. Water bulbous plants, flowers, and vines in the oasis. Ineffective on large trees or grass. Okay. Thorntail matriarch. Welcome, welcome. A lantern? What do you do? You're another buff as well. Okay, there's clearly lots of buffs out here that do summon. Use the watering jug to water plants. collect data. I heard there's some boxes or something you use to get pets. Anybody come across the deets on that? Well, I think you have to travel different places to
Is that your wallet?
to collect pets
You
to
just
bring them
glad
back
to
to
see
the ecodome.
Both.
This
I hope.
whole we're in day one stuff right now. I think this is meant to be a little bit of a weekly mini game, but I'm not quite sure yet. Yo, Zim Power with a 41 as well. Thank you, boys and girls. Some of you have got some big numbers on the go right now. I appreciate this a lot. Thank you. Nice to come back and feel loved. One final item before we begin. The Oasis requires donations. Okay. Distribute advertising in Tazavesh. Okay, back to Tazavesh then. Let's we'll haul ass naturally over there. Go junk some mail. Yeah, I've kind of heard that there's like a weekly quest that opens up that you have to like go places and cage up pets and bring them back to the ecodome or something. What that entails, why we do it, why we care about it, is it fun? These are no, these are all questions I don't understand yet, but this is why we try and figure things out on the PTR before it goes live, so we know what we actually want to focus on and not. You know what I mean? Let me take a quick bathroom break. I'll be back in 2. Right, let's dish out some junk apparently. Treasure? Being conditioned to go back to the old zones. That, yeah, the player housing is going to do that, isn't it? I'm going to I haven't shared this overly publicly because I know it's not an opinion that is strongly shared. I'm not that fussed about player housing so far with what I've seen. I really worry that with like their push for engage. I think this is another good. I think Blizzard are going to do Blizzard things with it, which really kind of concerns me. They're going to push for engagement with it. And the one thing I said with player housing at the beginning is that they have to let players do their own thing. Like they absolutely have to let players do their own thing and be creative. And I think Blizzard are going to push for engagement so much with this. And you know, the renown path for housing, I'm like, it's like, why are you like, please, Blizzard? I don't know. I'm scared Blizzard are going to do Blizzard things with it and screw it up. There's so much riding on player housing, though. This is the thing. I'm not sure many people out there really understand just how important player housing is to get right. If they don't get it, oh my god! If they screw this up, they might as well not bother after the saga finishes, because But if they get it right, they propel themselves to like stratospheric levels again. How do we do this? Fly through the rings. Read the quest. If they get player housing right, they're on to a massive win. If they done goof it and they mess it up, they shoot themselves in the foot so hard. So I really want them to be careful with it. Because it's going to bring so many new people to the game. But if they then go out of their way to make it a task, a weekly chore, or something that you feel obliged to do, all they'll do is piss off all of those brand new players. And it'll feel real bad. It kind of like the economy. They need to have a very hands-off approach, I think, with it. Give players the tools to be creative and just let them run with it. Don't be too pushy. Don't be too engagement driven. But look how many times in the past Blizzard add something new to the game, and this theory of that Blizzard is too big to fail generally means that they will make you do that thing whether you kind of want to do that thing or not, because the engagement in it has to happen. Because if there's no engagement, it's not successful. Okay, that's everything. Cool. We can turn that back in now. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just, call it cynical, call it overly cautious, and maybe it's because it's such a highly requested feature in the game. But you know, if it was some like mini game in a patch or something, it's not that big. But player housing is about as big as it gets. New baby like the crafting revamp, the 5th pillar has already crumbled. Well, look at work orders. Like, the new work order system and the new profession system was something that was too big of a chunk of development for it to be allowed to fail. And so the only way they can make it not fail is to make sure that they have some data to back up the fact that everybody went and did it. And because of that, clearly everybody loves it. Every feature like this is part of the company's income projections too. They'll have a target of what they expect to bring in regarding revenue. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like, I don't look at World of Warcraft just as a game anymore. It is a business, a very, very big business. publicly listed business at that. Travel to Stormsong Valley to get some bees. Venari needs some bees. Okay. I'll provide a portal for you as payment when you return with the bees. Okay, sure. Does this take us to actual Stormsong Valley? Or does this take us to a bonus shard of Stormsong Valley? They cannot afford to mess up player housing. They bought an entire company with just 100 people just for player housing. Yeah, it's too big to fail. Like, failure is not an option. This isn't something that they're going into just kind of like testing. If it works, great, we'll iterate on it. If not, we'll ditch it. No, this is going into player housing is as much WoW 2.0 as anything else. It absolutely categorically has to work. Don't be crazy. Something agitated the bees. Slay 10 maulers in the Highland Flats. Sticky fingers. Sometimes a good thing, sometimes not. Looks like the honey's being stolen. Try take the honey back from the blob things. Okay. These are all campaign quests at the moment, so this is kind of like pre-designed. You go do this, you learn to do this. Okay, this is very reminiscent of bee farming. For the love of God, could we please have something besides a round hut made of sticks for the horde? No, never. You will enjoy your round huts. Level 62. Okay, so this does feel like it's old school. This is actually the BFA zone. Did I? Because we're getting BFA level gear in here, even though the mobs are scaled up to 80. How do we get these dudes out of the... I don't know, whatever. Going to be the first player to build a massive dick and ball monument in my garden. Oh, you will not be the first. There is, it is safe to say there will be cock as far as the eye can see in some neighborhoods. You better believe it. Because gamers will do gamer things. Sorry, ladies. We boys are childish sometimes. I guess you don't even need the word sometimes in that sentence, thinking about it, to be honest. I don't know how much of this I'm meant to be killing. What we got? 6 and 7 out of 10. But yeah, this is the thing for me. Like, the amount of time and effort, which in business terms relates to money, that has gone into player housing is another system that's been added that's too big to fail at this point. And when it's too big to fail, Blizzard absolutely categorically must make sure every player engages with it as frequently as possible so that it is, at least on paper, a success. Even if, you know, forums say differently. Now, I'm not QQing on it saying that it's going to be bad. I'm just saying that Blizzard might push too hard with this because they've kind of got... I think player housing is Blizzard's last ace, right? It's their last ace on this up the sleeve. They've got to get this right. They've redone the Mage Tower. We've had revamped expansions. They've given us Classic. They're running out of aces to play to keep people busy. Oh, Dirt, my man, with a 50. I think that's the first 50, my man. In fact, I'm pretty much sure that's a half century a month. Sheesh. Thank you very much, my man. Appreciate that. Hope you got on reasonably well with your little Mechanica adventure, by the way. Player creations are going to be the best free marketing Blizzard and WoW have ever had. Yeah, this is the thing, right? If they get it right when it comes to like letting people share, letting people showcase their creativity, it'll go miles. It'll genuinely go miles. 2 more chances after that: the Dance Studio and Aerial Combat. I know people want the Dance Studio. I'm not so convinced people want Aerial Combat, but yeah, there's not many more aces for sure. Investigate the beehives. Tranquilize or slay 5 hive guardians. I thought it would be a bit of an evergreen farm, so why not get in on that? Yeah, I think it will be an evergreen farm as well. I very much think it will be an evergreen farm. The only way it won't be an evergreen farm is if they change something, and I don't see them changing it. Look at how many people still to this day farm BFA World mounts, for example. Why? Because if you get one and put it on the auction house, it makes you a lot of gold. And they're kind of cool mounts that people still want. All of that is true to be said for the mounts from the Mechanicas. So, we were talking about this earlier. Unless 11.2 has some really cool, really interesting way for us to make billions of gold, there's a very strong chance that it won't take us all that long to get back into the Undermine. Okay, tranquilize all of them. Investigate 2 more beehives. These quests, right? These are all world quests from BFA. Every single one of these quests so far is a BFA world quest. They've literally copy-pasted all of the BFA world quests and put it in a campaign quest line. Don't think I haven't spotted that, Blizzard. Our guild members are already fighting over who gets the waterfall house in the guild neighborhood. I need to look through that article, most recent article that came out on it, in a bit more detail. Because I was only 50% here, so I only like skim read it at best. But I was trying to not be paying too much attention to WoW. Because, you know, I was trying to have a break. And then they drop a flipping player housing article, but... I think neighborhoods sound like an interesting concept. It could be the social aspect that actually trumps guilds. Not that that's hard these days, but The fact that they're tying neighborhoods to guilds means that I don't think we're going to see neighborhoods replace guilds. But I can see, I can see neighborhoodly activities being a new age way of doing group content potentially in the future. Bohemian Rhapsody. Lure out the queen, place the honey pot and use it to lure and rescue the queen. This is another BFA world quest. An unbelievable solution. Collect the anima vacuum and use it to vacuum up honeybees. Okay. Oh, Venari's here. Come help me transport some bees. Give me the anima vacuum. And give me the honey pot. Or place the honey pot. Is this where we hoover the bees? Zoom! Oh no, this is the queen bee. Put it in a jar. Oh, is that all we had to do to capture the queen? Okay, queen bee in a jar. What else are we doing? Vacuum honeybees. I can let you in on a secret. It does not, in fact, have a way to make millions of gold, except for the same old consumables and whatnot. Yeah, 11.2. Yeah, I like. Unless there's something completely hidden that is missed. I mean, let's not forget, like, Mechanica was kind of like quite unknown even with the patch launching. We were even when the patch launched, we weren't sure if Mechanica pets or mounts could be put on the auction house even. So that, you know, there was some ambiguous, there was some weirdness going on with that though. Even before the patch launch, so I'm still hopeful that 11.2 might have something interesting. I mean, it's clearly not going to be Mechanica level, but on the PTR there are some pets, including Dread Horrorling, that come from something called a vibrating box. Nobody seems to know what these are or how you get them. Dread Horrorling. We look at pets, really. Vibrating box. Oh, these are the Ecodome stuff. This is part of the Ecodome stuff. This is the weekly Ecodome stuff. I'm almost convinced of it. I think one of the completion rewards each week is a vibrating box. We'll find out more about this once I've finished the campaign and unlocked it properly. I'm pretty sure that's the thing. If you want spoilers, I did some testing on those boxes. Oh, so you have found the boxes already then? Okay. Well, I mean, we're in PTR mode. We're in spoiler mode for sure. As long as it's not storyline spoilers, I don't mind finding out information. This pet is not tradable. Oh, so these are tradable then. Flog them if they're cageable, worthless by the end of the expansion. Doesn't necessarily mean worthless, but Not tradable. Okay. Yeah, like a washing machine. Mr. Longlegs from a treasure in Karesh. Not tradable. What's the odds this Eco Dome thing becomes something that I look to do on 80 characters every week? If those vibrating boxes give pets that end up being valuable. Okay. Well, we did the, we went and did B stuff. Meet botanist. Boxes indeed from the Ecodome once per week. So far, I have only got one pet per week on the whole account. First box, 100% a pet. The rest of them do not have pets. Looks like it's per warband per week. Did not check this week yet and still hope they have fixed drop rates because it's too low. Oh, that's interesting. If it's per warband, holy, that's going to make those pets valuable as hell. In the first few weeks. Where are we going? B test all the way over here. Well, there didn't seem to be that many of them. Maybe it's a slightly different variation of like the, what do you call it? The protoform synthesis from Zereth Mortis. Maybe it's designed to be something that is a little bit of a reward for consistent play. But I think once we finish this chapter of the campaign, to fully unlock the Ecodome, we can have a proper play with it. See. Need to figure out all the rares and stuff in the zone as well. That's something I've kind of should have done and haven't, but it's worth putting in the document though. How many pets did it look like there was? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. A collection of 12 pets which look to be tradable. Not changeable, cageable. Let's grab a screenshot of just one that looks cool. Dread Horrorling. Okay, then no, that's there's a collection of 12 pets that looks to be cageable and sold on the auction house. These drop from vibrating box. This is a reward from completing the Eco Dome side quests each week. By the way, in the game, they're called wiggling pinnacle caches. Not sure why the pet description has them as vibrating. Oh, well, it's probably, they were probably first implemented as wiggling or vibrating boxes, but have been changed to wiggling pinnacle caches because it's more in sync with just the rest of the game, I reckon. You know, we're kind of taught by now to chase pinnacle caches, and we're also kind of taught that pinnacle caches are like a weekly box. That maybe they've just put a wiggling prefix to it. I'll update this as we know more. Let's get there and find out. Be strong. Find the queen bee. Document 10 honeybees. Okay. 4 honey pots. There's a bee. There's a bee. Snap it. If you're going to take photos of bees, make sure you don't accidentally take photos of boobies. What did I say about childish? I have to click the damn camera on every time. Oh, that's a queen bee. Get nommed. Loving that. I mean, spell not learnt. Six. Get like a... Slap a wide angle lens on this bad boy. Yes, there we go. A cluster of bees. Right, 10 bees. Oh, we're going to another eco dome now. Oh no, we're just going inside now. We'll test with actual Koreshi animals. Okay. Not sure I've been in this eco dome yet. Start prepping to move the bees to the oasis. I like to tag them so we can monitor the hive. Tranquilize and tag 10 bees. Bees are doing well and have no negative interactions with the local fauna. Okay. Do quick bee-related quests again. Weirdly, we seem to be doing basically the same bee quests as we just did, but okay. Oh, hang on, I got a... Maybe not. Tag them. Ah, trank them, tag them. I see. Bagged and tagged. Oh, can't get in there. My little goblin legs. Saw a bee. Where'd you go? This is number 6. It's going to feel weird doing all of this again, like, in less than a week, but I did sort of state when the PTR for 11.2 launched that I wasn't going to do too much of it when it was brand new and fresh, simply because I always plan to probably, you know, blast it the week before anyway, just because then you know that this is basically launch ready. What we see today is what we'll see when it goes live properly next week. Pretty accurately, anyway. Kind of also means that with 10.2 out now,
profit together.
or well, 10.2 coming out next week, sorry, we should probably very quickly start finding out more midnight stuff. Gamescom official midnight launch announcement thing is soon, isn't it? A couple of weeks' time, I think. Oh shit, do you guys know about that? I think you do. Mr. Norton, 34 months. My man, thank you very much. Welcome in, welcome, welcome. I think that's public knowledge.
Let's make sweet profit together.
Yo, and a few gifties, my man. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Hope you've had a reasonably good summer.
Let's make sweet profit together.
No, I wish you better than that. I hope you've had a great summer.
Let's make sweet profit together.
Where are these flora cuttings? Need 5 more. We need a hype trailer. Don't fail us, Metzen. Yeah, we need something that gives us some something to grab onto, something to get excited for. It's weird that I can very easily see more people excited about housing than midnight. So I wonder if they have like something up their sleeves for midnight announcement that will be like, oh my god. Maybe they'll acknowledge the sword finally or something, I don't know. Oh, you've been playing Pandalands? Classic for me, I did think about playing some Classic. But then I suddenly realised that, well, we did miss a Pandaria remix like less than a year ago. Or, well, no, I don't know. We did Panda Remix like a while ago, not so long ago. And it's still too fresh in my mind to go back and play it in slow mode. But I can see there's plenty of people. Scan down the friends list and you can see there's a lot of interest in Classic right now. So I hope you've been having fun. Okay, the Oasis is nearly ready. It feels. Can't be far off now. Back over to this one. Back to the other dome. I kind of went somewhere on holiday. It's kind of but in a slightly different fashion to most. We have access to a summer place that we go to, which isn't actually more than about an hour away from us. So it's not like a traditional holiday like I get on a plane and go to a different country, but it's a mental break for long enough to reinflate, and it's all good. Collect 8 honeycombs and then pet the queen bees. Okay, more bee stuff. All right, Venari. Okay, now. Sat on the auction house, bit of Spirit of Harmony farming, 400k in the wallet. Yeah, there we go. Big money. I did Panda starting zone, then just logged out next to my DK from the Wrath launch. It's funny because quite a few more prominent goal makers have basically 100% switched to Classic at this point. And occasionally when something's happening in Classic, you see some of the more old school goal makers who aren't necessarily as public as they once used to be. And it's predominantly because they're off doing Classic things rather than focusing on retail. In a way, I would kind of say that, like, for more, dare I say, traditional goal making, Classic is a much better game for it. No region-wide auction house, no fresh and revamp. No kind of like changes or secrets or new patches or something that's gonna throw you off your game. It's all kind of figured out. It means if you played it the first time round, you're not really particularly learning anything new. You're just kind of like cleaning off the cobwebs and doing what worked once upon a time, doing it again. I can see the appeal. It's not my cup of tea, because I like the journey of something new, figuring out new things, but I can see why it's appealing. Right, 2 more wiggle dances. I hate these things, by the way. These flipping follow the track things. Not only does it make me dizzy, there's always one where it's slightly bugged and doesn't register properly. But at least these so far seem to be pretty good. Nostalgic goal making. Yeah, I mean, that's a good way to describe it, to be honest. There we go. Many waggles occurred. Surely Queen Bee must be content by this point. Do you have a tailor on the PTR? I wonder if the recipe for the Lego back has stats for multi-craft, or is it just a craft? It's bind on pickup, it's work orders. So you can resourcefulness on it, but can't multi-craft it. Pick up 10 overworked honeybees and return them to the hive, okay. Overworked honeybees. Unironically, this quest chain seems to be longer than the actual main campaign quests. Is this actually, when we complete this quest chain, like, I did the main campaign quest, and I swear it took longer than this bee business. Less time than this bee business, sorry. It seems kind of weird that weird that my voice decided to stop working, and kind of weird that this side quest, campaign quest, seems to be longer. You can make a token a day in Panda with much less effort than in retail, and it's more accessible to the majority. Can't get the Blizz bucks from Classic though. No, that's true. It's self-containing, isn't it? But if you need some game time, you can do Classic stuff. Which arguably is what most people actually look at goal making for, honestly. Like, the amount of, over the years, the percentage of people that turn around and are like, yeah, I want to make some gold, and you ask why, and they're like, that never is the answer, or very rarely is the answer that they don't have much, and they want to pay for their consumables and stuff. 9 times out of 10, it's, I want to play the game for free. Which I think is, personally, always a slightly bad place to start goal making from, because it already tells me that you don't really enjoy the game enough to value the monthly subscription being worth it. So you're kind of hunting for a way to circumvent that, was it, $15 a month? If you don't even think the game is worth spending $15 a month on, I don't think you're going to want to spend a bonus 20 hours on top of what you're already doing in order to play for free. Which is why I've always considered that mindset of like grind a token's worth of gold, cash it in, a really, really toxic way to do goal making. I think it's just a recipe for failure. If you enjoy goal making and you scale up and you end up making so much gold that you have more of it than you know what to do with, then by all means cash it in for a few tokens occasionally. And if you are making quite literally millions of gold a month, then playing the game quote unquote for free is just a nice perk. But I tend to think it being people's like main focus and main reason for making gold is not the right place. It's like starting a YouTube channel because you want to make money. It's the same sort of concept. You're kind of doing it for the wrong reasons. Document the bees this time, okay. We'll take more photos of them. Stand still to document nearby flora and fauna. Document the queen bee. Okay. Already these bee quests are feeling quite repetitive. I've already taken photos of 10 bees. Why? Probably because I haven't been paying too much attention to the actual quest lines. I'm only really commenting on what the actual gameplay of the quests are, but at least it's maybe slightly more varied than your traditional quests of collect 10 of these, kill 5 of these. Started goal making to afford Shadowlands Legos, but something went wrong and I ended up playing for free. Now I just buy any Battle.net game and still play for free, buying boosts, etc., etc. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of that seems to be more of a symptom of the fact that you enjoy playing the game quite a lot and you found large amounts of enjoyment in the goal making. So the free games and the saving of $15 a month is just like perks of the job, if you know what I mean. Okay, we gotta find a new home for the queen bee. I tell you what, I sure as hell hope that this quest line is skippable on alts. If you have to do this on every quest, on every character to unlock this Mana Forge quest thing, it's going to be bad news. So now we just play Find the Treasure. Appears to be over this way somewhere. Why am I getting a tooltip about swimming? Stupid PTR. X marks the spot. $98. $95. Why can't I get this damn number to 100? Hello? Can't get in the tree. Do I need to somehow get up in... What? What? Ah, well, I'll come back. I had you for a second then. There, go, 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 go. Doesn't appear she likes this, like, son of a... Ah, Jesus. Right, next location, I guess, then. I'm subbed until halfway through 2028. I don't actually buy game time massively in advance anymore. I used to just stack it up, but now I don't even bother. I just pay the monthly when I pay the monthly. Oh, it's got to be a spot around here somewhere. Rear, apparently. This doesn't look very friendly to bees. There's a flipping fox in the way. You good? No. Doesn't like this one either. I didn't even realise there's a smoke trail towards where you're meant to go. Should have paid attention. It's a Mr. Manthius. Welcome in, welcome, welcome. Once you get your weekly quest after this bee chain, your alts will have them. Weekly quests in the dome already unlocked if they use the skip campaign. Okay, that's good. Because I sure as hell don't want to have to do this intro quest line on 80 characters. That ends up being a thing. Stack up the tokens in Panda. Yeah, if I could find enjoyment maybe in doing some Panda stuff, it would be some quick and easy free tokens, but how was the break? Pretty refreshing. A few weeks of literally not even thinking about World of Warcraft, never mind logging in or doing anything about it, was very much needed. I wouldn't necessarily 100% say I'm back yet. The streams especially are still going to be a bit sporadic for a while. Obviously we've got 11.2 next week, so we'll absolutely be streaming that, but I'm oh, the bee's knees, look. I'm still not not 100% committing to being fully back full time, if you know what I mean. So that's the first storyline then. So it looks like potentially each week we might get a slightly different storyline to this, which is nice. Now we get the shake your behind. Okay, there's now all of a sudden a couple of quests here. What's Venari giving me? Hunting for a good author. Growing concern that we may be in danger of overbalancing the ecosystem, we require a consultant. Have you read The Green Hills of Stranglethorn? About 20 years ago, yeah. Go find Hemet. Mr. Nestingwary. Okay. But what we also have now is the Anima Reclamation Program. This actually gives us some rep and is a weekly, repeatable 5 days, so that's a weekly. Food Run also gives us some rep, is also a weekly. My schedule's been all out of whack without you. I've basically not had a schedule for 2 weeks, which is kind of good and bad. Because it means it's going to be twice as hard to get back into one. Catch hydrobites. Oh, fishing. Fishing for rep. Okay, sure. I haven't found a quest that gives me a wiggly pinnacle box yet, though. I've got lots of bee-related shit, but nothing that says maybe I need to do this. Oh, wait, hello. What's this? Ah. What's this over here? Where'd it go? Oh, do we click the big thing in the middle? The Oasis console? No? Why do I have this here? Help Venari build a functioning ecosystem in the Oasis. Weekly cache containing materials for upgrading gear, gold, pets, and more. That needs a screenshot. It's a world quest for a box. You're already on it. Wards. 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 Oh, that's the phase diving. Oh, the big one. Complete this World quest will... Okay, complete the repeatable quests. Oh, there's repeatable quests. Okay. Return anima from a devourer assault. Optional. Help the oasis. Okay, so we've got to do... Okay, sure. Ecological succession is the main quest, and we complete that by doing the other mini quests. Oh, I see. So this is all the Eco Dome activities. Okay. Let's go do. Some more of this business. Eastern wiggle dance. Should be some more wiggle dances. Okay. This up here, Hydrobites. Get me rod out. Do I have fishing keybound? I don't. Water's too shallow. They're semi-repeatable. Most are weekly. Some reset on Saturday, if I remember correctly. Oh, okay. What's the odds this fishing one is going to be repeatable? Hydrobite. There we go. Where did the Hydrobite go? That not go in my bags? Did that count straight towards a quest completion? Yeah. You can do some digging of dirt and watering plants as well. Oh, okay. I wonder if after the feedback that they got about Mechanicas, that they might make this more of a solo adventure to get the pets. That you just complete some weekly activities and you're guaranteed a pet. Unlike Mechanicas, where you could do flipping everything in the zone for ages, and then unless you're target farming them, you just don't get them. You're persistent enough, you can fish your way up to 100%. Each fish after the first 7 you get gives you 1%. Oh, does it really? Should we keep going? Just fish your way to 100. Alright, well that's the first 7. We keep fishing. See if it gives us percentage. It does. Okay, you could fish 100 hydrobites. So you can still fish these after the 7. Is that a... I wonder if you can still fish these up even after you've turned the quest in. Let's turn the quest in and see if that ability goes away. Not that I would think fishing for all 100 is the quickest and easiest way of doing it, but... This is our rep for the week. Yoink. Oh, renowned 6. Oh, yeah, there's a phase conduit in here as well. Definitely going to be some shenanigans with that. Can we now continue to fish and still get percentage every time? So we're on 22%. Okay, technically you can. Not sure you'll I'm not sure you'll really want to, but you can equally fish your way to 100% if you really want. Sure. What's food run look like? Stolen food shipments. Oh, they're flipping miles away. Okay, I'll do the bee dances in here first. Is cross-realm deposition allowed for materials into the Giln bank after the bank UI changes? Oh, I know what you mean. I have no idea. I don't actually think I have a way to really test that. That's just a wait and see. Because even if you set up a guild on the PTR servers work slightly differently to the servers on live. Finally got around to farming Mechanica with a team of 5, and I find that I can't be bothered doing it. The pursuit of the goal was much more fun than actually doing the activity. Oh yeah, I have this same problem with most goal making in general. That the setting up and the journey of figuring out what you need to do and how to do it is 10 times more interesting to me than actually doing it. Which is a bit of a constant problem I deal with. Even when something is stupidly, ludicrously overpowered, massively printing gold, like killing rares and getting mechanicas, I still can't. The second it crosses into like theory crafting, and soon as it switches into just pure farm, I'm bored within minutes. Genuinely bored within minutes. I think it's PTSD mostly from Shadowlands Legos. I kind of have almost taught myself that after Shadowlands Legos, that is not the way to play the game. That we're just not going to do that. So I strictly stop doing the thing as soon as it stops being interesting. So yeah, I get it. I don't know what return anima from a devourer assault means. I wonder if we phase into the oasis, there's more stuff to do. Oh no, there's actually a quest for anima reclamation, isn't there? You will be compensated. Or we'll go get some from Tazavesh. We need to do the food run over there anyway. I haven't really tested the phase diving stuff much either yet. I wonder if that's going to be... or if there's going to be anything interesting with the phase diving. Am I right in saying, though, when phase diving you can't fly? Because I saw something somewhere, and I can't remember where it is, but something that seemed to indicate that at a certain point you are then able to use mounts whilst phase diving, and it kind of worries me that they've made it so that you can't mount up. Aha! A wild wife and a little niece has turned up. Give me 2 minutes, boys and girls. Okay, they're off to do some swimming, apparently. Right, where did we get to? What are we doing here? Food shipment. Welcome back to the mall, my friend. What with the phase diving? Not being able to mount, not being able to run, not being able to fly. Yeah, this is one thing that does... I need to find out. I need to look into it a bit more. Because people love having their movement stripped from them. We're going to take away your ability to move, and then we're going to make you earn it again. Because that's always worked fantastically well for Blizzard. So, phase diving has got to offer something really cool to counteract that, if that's the case. You'll be able to mount whilst phase diving. The intro quests didn't seem to let me. I hope maybe it was just me doing something wrong. Didn't you like Corthia? Well, Venari's back, so... who knows? We'll see. You unlock it somewhere on the renown track. Oh, what, to be able to mount whilst phase diving? Yeah, that's concerning. I really hope there's something super cool about phase diving that counteracts that clear and obvious nerf to your experience. Just because we know full well how people love that situation normally. Animal reclamation. How do we do this one? Where are we going for this one? Okay, we can do that over here. All these dudes? No. Hungry trash mite. So not these dudes. By the looks of things, just these trash mites maybe. Oh, one. Okay, we got to kill loads of those. Holy. At this point, fishing might have been faster. Jesus, fishing might have been faster, you know. I'll probably look at phase diving a little bit on another day. I'm going to try and spend the rest of the day figuring out this eco-dome stuff as much as I can. Especially since it leads to something that is potentially goblin-esque. And I'm sure phase diving has its own intrigue. Khadgar's wheelchair mount, please. One day, it will happen. Oh, what about scavenger worm? Oh, you have a load of it. How much health have you got actually? 22 mil. I should have checked that before I... Should have checked that before I tagged it, but it's fine. Yo, this better give me more than one. Ah, 3. Okay, that's better. Thought you woke up, but I guess I'm still dreaming. We're 50% alive. Oh, here's one of the new herbs, by the way. A lush phantom bloom. I can go in the docket. Let's grab a screenshot of that. Okay. Oh, it's a bauble worm. Bauble worm pet in the wild. Sand spinner. 11 out of 12. 9 more. Let's try like this area in the middle, because I reckon that this area is just really bad. Or do we kill the big worms? Just nuke the big worms. It's a much better way of doing it. Tag some of these at the same time. This should get us 5 right here. Okay, we only need 3. We'll just kill these 3. 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. Right, let's go turn that in then. Right, do we reckon that's going to be enough to complete the Ecodome weekly? Let's see. Need to pick up all these treasures, you know, just in case there's something cool in them. I wonder if Wowhead has even half of a estimated loot table for these yet. Is there 2 tiers of treasures again, actually? Is it on the renown track that there's another tier of treasure somewhere? Renown 9, recover stolen merchandise, whatever that means. Bigger treasures, renown 11. This is what will give something interesting, potentially. Because it was the dumpsters. The little trash cans in the Undermine didn't mean shit, but it was the dumpsters that were worth looting. Because they had the higher item level BOEs in them. Which, actually, spending so much time in the Undermine made a fair amount of gold off those. Selling them across all the different realms. Okay, this is actually only 43% completion. I don't think these last 2 quests are going to be enough, are they? 20 anima. Is that going to be a repeatable one? I reckon that's a repeatable one. Food. 83%. Oh, interesting. You only get enough. I wonder if that's calculated. The world quests only give you 83% completion, so you got to go find other stuff to do. It's not strictly a quest. So what do we say? There's like dirt piles, watering plants. We've obviously figured out that you can fish. We need 17% from somewhere somehow. What's this dude want? What do you want? Help the Oasis collect data. Is that maybe what some of these buffs mean? No, it just gives me a buff. I don't know what this does. Want to brag because this is the only place where people will appreciate it. I've made 60 million in the War Within without any work orders. That's pretty good going, you know. Yeah, I'm heavily in camp ignore work orders too. Congrats though, man. That's a lot of gold. That's a lot of moolah. If I was any more religious with my cross-realm stuff, I haven't. My 4, whilst I'm doing this, my 4 bonus accounts don't even have game time right now. I'm kind of waiting to log them all back on. And I'm also wondering if short-term it's worth logging them back on, because I don't know. I probably should. They kind of pay for themselves anyway these days, so I kind of should. How and where do I get bonus percentage? What do you want? Are you going to be a side quest? Chipping the void. How much from concentration? That'd be a real flex. Concentration only makes you good gold if you like really stack it. Like 50 alts level stack it. And hence why quite quickly I gave up with that business. Same scenario as I mentioned earlier. Like, I enjoy the theory crafting behind it. How many alts do you need to achieve X, Y, or Z? Then when it comes to actually doing it, I'm like, oh, that's a lot of hard work. Ah, Mr. Woo, how we doing? Welcome in. Yeah, what percentage of it was pets? Probably quite a high percentage, I'd imagine, actually. Cross-realm in general cases is... I am of the belief still that the only billionaire strategy in this game is cross-realm. And every day, every week that goes past, that is even less and less lucrative. As more and more people do it. But flipping in general, like, is the billion gold strategy. There's no way you get past 100 mil without doing some flipping in some way, shape, or form, I think, these days. Starting from scratch, that is. Crafting's never going to do it. Farming is... There's a glass ceiling on farming. Glass ceiling with how much you'll make per hour. So it's just a maths equation of, if you want to make 100 mil, how many hours is it going to take you to do it on average? And if you're willing to do that, then fair play, but... one more chip. Is that this thing? I'm half doing a world quest at the same time. That's confusing me. What's this world quest? Just activate the pylons. Awards a one-time warband reputation bonus. Oh, that's something I also wanted to try. Whether that's true or not this time. Because in the Undermine, doing the world quests on alts in the Undermine continued to give you rep. Even though I think it was meant to be warband. Which is how I got the Undermine rep leveled in like 10 days. Just lots and lots and lots of world quests. Where's the rest of these pylons then? If you're worried about pure time efficiency, absolutely no lifing professions when they are quote unquote hot the first 2 months of the expansion, first month after a new raid launch, and then just stop and either don't worry about it or flip in the off times. Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much. If you're doing something along those sorts of lines, you'll mostly have more gold than you ever need. And you won't feel as if you spend too much time generating it either. Oh, you're a big son of a bitch. Especially when you have to spend 400k a month just to keep farming. Yeah, that's like I said, that's the big catch for me, and why I try so much to not promote that as an activity.
Both, I hope.
It can very easily lead to a downward spiral. You know, you farm to play for free. You play for free to be able to farm. It's that's the vicious circle. There's only 3 pylons. Where's the other 2 pylons? Stupid world quest. There's one. You're going to stream the Gamescom, the Blizzard part? Maybe. Is it the 19th? I think it's the 19th, right? Can't see why not. Oh, woo with the 37 as well, my man. Thank you very much. Oh, you boys and girls are showing the love today. I appreciate it. Thank you. Or maybe you've just stacked it up because I've not been here for a while. Either way, thank you very much. I appreciate it. What do we get for that? 50 rep. 50 main rep for doing a world quest. I kind of want to go do that on an alt just to see if it's still such that you can just repeat world quests and gain rep. Too unstable. You're going to ask me to go get more now, aren't you? Collect 4 Dune Worm essences and 6 Quollusk shells. Apparently, animals in it somewhere. An ecodome, there's very few living things in it. Where's everybody gone? You'll do. $4 a.m. on a Wednesday. Not sure I'll be watching it live. Oh yeah, that's a point. I need to pay close attention to exactly what time it is. Yeah, that could actually be problematic. It's at stupid o'clock. The first 2 to 3 months of the war within made me enough gold for decades with just crafting, no needing to worry about flipping. Yeah, the peak of season 1, or expansion launch, should I say, is if you capitalize on it, you can make so much that you just don't have to worry. That's the strategy that many people use these days. They make so much gold in the first couple of weeks that they just live off that for the rest of the expansion and then rinse and repeat. It's why goal making content drops off so hard. You can go from getting like 30, 40,000 views on a video to like 5,000 views on a video within a matter of weeks, because people just stop caring and stop looking for it. They know that it's the beginning of the expansion where you can dominate. And the people that dominate the hardest are usually the ones that are paying the most attention during a beta or an alpha phase as well. It's why, you know, WoW Economy, Discord, well, Discords in general, community places to chat amongst yourselves just go absolutely crazy. A few weeks before the launch and shortly after as well. Four AM is brutal unless you're nocturnal or hyped on caffeine or both. Yeah, 4 AM couldn't get more in the middle of the night if it tried, could it really? I try to make sure I go to bed between 12 and 1, so 4 AM is like literally halfway through my sleep. Which means that's a sleep breaking kind of schedule. Sold Sulfurian's hammers for 3 million's worth during the collector's bounty, because everybody was off going and getting the bits for it, and then needed the actual crafted item. That's quite funny. It's a good strat. Oh, where did you go? I was trying to pew pew you. Disappeared into the sand. Son of a... If I'm up before 6 AM, it's because I have a flight. Yeah, that's genuinely the only reason to be up at that sort of hour of the day, in my opinion. Oh wait, whoa, hang on, that wasn't right. There was a one of these dude. There he is. Come here, you. Marcus, how we doing? Welcome in. It is afternoon for me. Yes, you've got 10 minutes of morning left. I'm led to believe. I start my stream at 8 PM and say morning, boys and girls. So yeah, it's morning somewhere. Right, let's go hand that in then. I'm wondering if this side quest line leads to anything extra to do in the Ecodome, or whether this is just like one of the side quests that gives you 250 rep or something. $20 void shards. Where do they come from? Back out here. Still need 8% in the Ecodome. I'm kind of just tempted to just go fish 8 things just to get it done, actually. Just fish 8 times and get it done. Because I want to get the chest. I want to see if it's a guaranteed pet first time. Now, getting a pet wouldn't actually guarantee it's 100%, but it's close enough. Toss the whispering stargazer into the waters of Azkahet and awaken the fish that slumber below. So it seems to be that you can get a wider variety of fish, maybe, out here too. Not something that I really considered, but Could the Eco Dome end up being the fishing spot? No slum sharks, though. Or who knows? Maybe a surprise slum shark. 4 more fish. Just me that wants a bigger war bank, already bought all the tabs and want more. Well, I've still refused to spend 2.5 million on the last tab because whilst I want more, the value per bank tab then is actually ridiculous. But I do kind of agree. Actually, one of the biggest things I see people complain about with the crafting professions is that they don't want 3 versions of every single material. Oh shit, I auto-completed that, and I got my wiggling cash. So it's in here. We should get a pet. A pet that should also be cageable. Shimmering Inch Shifter. Which is cageable. Now the real question is can I complete that quest again on alts to get more pets? Or is it truly a 1 pet per week thing, like some people have suspected? See, I wonder, you know, that if it's a once per warband per week, there's value in doing it once and then selling the pets. And slowly but surely, people will collect all 12 of them. But more than likely, people will do it for a few weeks and then buy the rest because they can't be bothered to do the weekly quest, maybe. Especially if there's no bad luck protection. Imagine if there's no bad luck protection and you try and farm all 12 of them yourself. And you just keep getting duplicates. The right thing to do even in that scenario is to sell the duplicates and then to use the gold you make by selling the duplicates to pad out the rest of your collection. But if you can only do this once per week, if you only get 1 per week, it's going to be... You have so many chat lists. I've got over a full stack of chat cards, yeah. Double XP, you should probably go chat list before next week. Oh, I'm not burning through all of those. That's like 20 chat lists. It's like 25 chat lists. I'm not doing any of that. I could and I should, but I don't care that much. I'm in 11.2 mode now. 11.1's done. Yeah, we got 1 pet from 1 box. I do need to get another character in here, skip the queue, and then do the quest line again and see. That's the theory with that. But confirming that they're cageable at least. Traded Gilded Brutosaur, you have not collected this mount? Oh, why is my account data not copied over properly to this realm? Well, that's annoying, isn't it? That's annoying, isn't it? Might be funny, you know, if these do end up being a once per week thing on launch day. I wonder how many of these you'll find going for 1 silver a piece. Although the likelihood of somebody learning it, caging it, and then listing it for 1 silver is kind of slim. But crazy shit does happen. If they then end up being valuable because you can only get 1 per week. But this 1 per week thing is still a bit of a I've not seen that with my eyes yet. I'm going by what others have said, and it is one of those things that it does kind of feel like it could slightly be a PTR thing. I guess we'll find out. Cool little flipping project, yeah, for sure. Adding the name of the pets to your sniper list, if nothing else, probably a good idea. All right. Well, I'm not gonna blast too hard today. I'm still kind of technically in last day of holiday mode. The document for 11.2 is probably not fully conclusive, but there's plenty of stuff in there to get yourself going. Use the tabs and outline section to jump to titles quickly. I'll add more to this if more turns up, but we've got a few days before the patch launches still. This season's investments, the price rises have started, but no detailed analysis this time, but feeling confident. Have a quick look. So stuff's starting to go up. Some reset prices you can spot here. Yeah, I think if you've been doing this again in Season 3, I suspect it's going to play out pretty much exactly the same as what it did in Season 2. Just with slightly lower ceiling, I reckon. Where do we get the goblin notes? It's in the pinned comment. Pinned comment on the stream. It's also linked in Discord. Like I said, there's not huge amounts to it because there's not really a huge amount that's particularly changing or being added that we can really find significant, but trying to pinpoint some of the more goblin-esque things. There's a few new materials, one of which seems a bit weird and is kind of time gated behind raid renown. So we're not going to see this for 7 or 8 weeks anyway. And even then, it doesn't feel as if it's any really impactful. It seems a bit of a nothing burger. New recipes is just the basic stuff, other than tailors are doing the gems for the new legendary cloak, rather than Jawn Crafters. Contract, Vantis Rune, standard. There is these mini contracts. I can't at least find out much information about these, what they mean, why or if they're important. But once again, these don't these don't matter or mean anything for 2 months yet anyway. Silly little bonus writer's quill for the steamy romance novel kit toy from back in Legion. Alchemy has a new healing potion and a new invis potion. And there's Enchanting has a ethereal gleeful glamour. This also doesn't kick in for like 2 months, so nobody cares really. Or by the time nobody will care. Enchanting crests were data mined. If you're looking on Wowhead, you'll find references to enchanting crest recipes for enchanting. They're on the vendor again like Season 2. It's exactly the same as Season 2. So if anybody tells you that there's going to be enchanters are going to be making the crests again, they're lying or they're misinformed. They're on the vendors again. 10 knowledge points for every profession again. Renown 12, easy business. 15 for the gathering professions. If you still need a small bump in points, this now means there's nearly 100. If you've played the game a little bit and want to set up a new crafter, there's almost 100 single time knowledge points up for grabs. Basically meaning you can almost max build pretty much anything you want in a day. With a little bit of tinkering. There's enough knowledge points out there now for you to pretty much blast any profession pretty quickly. Augment runes are going to be weird. Perma augment rune for 100k gold. Perma augment rune at renown 18. Could take people a couple of weeks to get to renown 18. On top of that, once people hit renown 9 with the raid rep, so delayed by 2 months. In 2 months, people will get access to persist through death augment runes, and up to 6 of them per kill of a single boss in the raid. So in 8 weeks' time, I think single-use augment runes are going to be very cheap. They're going to crash very fast. They'll still be important for the beginning of the raid, but they'll crash super fast. Soon as people start hitting renown 18, the serious people who are buying a lot of augment runes will probably stop buying them. And then in 2 months' time, everybody will basically get bind on pickup, persist through death augment runes for free anyway. And the fact that you might be able to just go kill the boss quickly on LFR to get between 3 to 6 of them that persist through death, that is literally the nail in the coffin, I think, for the augment rune market. The new Lego cloak is not really much to say about this from a goblin perspective other than it's tailors that make the gems for them. They're bind on pickup, so they're going to be via work orders. So, yeah. And then there's the ore trader. The new herbs and the new ore. You trade them. You don't use them in crafting. When trading them, the exchange rate changes daily, and it looks like it might be on a rotation. So it looks like you might be able to predict what day is the best day ahead of time, rather than the exchange rate being random every day. And if it is in order, and if you can predict it, you'll be able to say, oh, on Thursday you exchange all of your new herbs and ore for your bismuth, and the price of bismuth will crash that day. Then you might decide to buy some of it up. You know, goblins do goblin things. And then there's the Ecodome pets that we've been looking at for the last hour or so. 12 pets that can be caged and sold from the drop location says vibrating box. It turns out that this vibrating box is actually called a wiggling pinnacle cache. It's the same thing. For completing the Ecodome side quests each week. Early testing showing the pet to be 100% drop chance from the first box per week. I also did just get a pet from the box. But it might be a warband wide, meaning you only get 1 pet per week per account, obviously. If this is true, expect pretty high prices on those pets for the first few weeks, because some people will choose to keep it for their collection, 1 out of 12. Some people will see more value in trying to sell it to people that want to buy all 12 on week 1 and just call it a day and not have to worry about it, which could also happen. And that, for the most part, outside of like farming stuff, is all I've found so far. I think Goldson was doing some tracking to find out the exchange rate cycle for the herb trader. I seem to remember him thinking it was a 10-day cycle. Well, it seems to go from 1 up to 3 up to 5 and then back to 1. So it could be a 3-day rotation. So you might be able to look at... The reality is if you're smart anyway, you're only going to be exchanging it for the most valuable herbal ore. So you'll probably look at bismuth and you'll be like, oh, well, it says it's 3. It costs, the exchange rate is 3 to 1 today on bismuth. Or tomorrow it will be even worse. It will be 5 to 1. But the day after that, it will be 1 to 1. And that's the day you'll do it. So you might be able to predict quite easily what day you do the exchange if you mess about with that. But the reality is if you're crafting with these materials, you can buy them all on the auction house anyway, but it might give you a bit of a heads up to what day might be cheap for a material. If the day that you can exchange for bismuth, it might crush the price of bismuth a little bit. Or goblins will do goblin things and bismuth price will get reset and everybody will make a mint, who knows. But yeah, that's basically all I've found so far. Not a huge amount, but just some stuff. Oh, hello, Mr. Goldson. I'm currently not seeing a pattern. Seems like it's random, but need more data. Three, 1. You were finding 2s on the herbs? Interesting. No 2s on. 1, 3, 5, 3, 5, 1, 1, 5, 1, 1. Okay, maybe it is just random then. Maybe it is check it every day. Maybe there is no... But it's always 1 to 1 on the Null Stone and Null Lotus. Kind of pointless then, isn't it? No pattern in sight. Well, ignore me then. It doesn't seem as if it's on much of a pattern. Could just be completely random. A top prediction for which character's not going to make it into the next expansion? Oh, who knows? Who knows? Right, well, boys and girls, I'm going to leave it there for today. Thank you very much for joining. We're kind of like 50% kind of back. As you can see, I'm kind of doing some WoW related stuff. What day is it? It's Thursday, isn't it? I'm not at the moment sticking to any particular schedule. Keep your eyes in the Discord. The notes, if you want them, are up and available. They're linked permanently in the Discord. They're pinned in the War Within. They're pinned within the PTR channel over in the Discord if you want it. But like I said, there's not a huge amount going on anyway. Just a few little bits and pieces, really. It might very well end up being just business as usual in the Undermine. Or we might, start thinking about player housing, remix, alpha, beta. There could be some far more interesting stuff on the horizon than focusing too heavy on actually retail for a while. Who knows? We'll see. It could be an interesting few months for sure. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for joining. I have no idea at this point of the day who's online. K-Chak has his AFK stream running. If you want to go lurk in there, get some points for his giveaway. I don't know who else is on at this point. Solheim apparently is back streaming by the looks of things. Go where you want, boys and girls. Go where you want. I'll love you and leave you. Have a good one. I'll see you all next time. Peace.